Birds will be men and men will be birds. Okay? If that is all you remember, then you can understand the nature of the Darwinian pecking order lineup. Okay? What happens with the birds happens with men. Okay? You can understand the nature of the pecking order lineup looking at the birds. Then you can understand the nature of the pecking order lineup with men. Okay? Birds will be men, men will be birds. Draw your pecking order lineup, and you can have as many birds as you want. You want 5, you want 6, you want 7, you want 9 birds in your lineup. It doesn't matter. What matters is what happens to the last bird at the end of the pecking order lineup. Okay? Now, we will find the queer gene on the pecking order lineup, and you remember that if there is a creature that has a queer identity, then that would be a genetic mutation. And you also remember that all humans have a universal recessive fluid gate rate that is healthy. Okay? Any human can be conditioned mentally in a way that recessive fluid gate rate is activated. But what makes the person healthy on the chromosomal level is that the gay gene is just that, what it is by genetic design, recessive and fluid. Okay? If ever the universal gay gene was to lose its fluid nature, it no longer has that fluidity, but it becomes a rigid, fixed, a permanent identity, so that it is now the dominant trait of the individual. It is no longer a recessive trait. That is a sure sign that a mutation has occurred in the realm of the genetic chromosphere. So we have how many birds do you want on your lineup? It doesn't matter. You want 5, 6, 7. What matters is what happens to the last bird at the end of the lineup. This is where we're going to discover the queer gene. Okay, now on every ice-cold battlefield, birds will be men and men will be birds along this pecking order lineup on an ice-cold battlefield, because here the species of woman does not exist other than in mirage format. Okay, listen closely. If it was a genetic possibility for the species of man to survive without the species of woman, then the Darwinian code survival of species is shattered, therefore we do not exist. Okay? Naturally, the recessive fluid gate rate is activated on any ice-cold battlefield where the species of woman exists. It's nothing other than mirage. That mirage is the queer bird at the end of the pecking order lineup. And after the bird is branded as queer, it is as good as buried. It is as good as buried. Okay. So now this may happen. Let's talk about some Iranian birds. There is an Iranian soldier, and the Iranian soldier commits sodomy on the battlefield. Now, in the Iranian parliament, there is a death sentence for any alone that has a queer identity. However, when this man, there is no trial for this man. He is not convicted of any crime. Why? Because what happened on that battlefield was the activation of the recessive trait. Once he is off that battlefield, and he once again sees a woman, it is very clear the man does not have a queer identity. It's very clear that it was the conditions of being on this battlefield that made it a short thing along this pecking order lineup of birds will be men, men will be birds, similar to sailor syndrome, where men have not seen a woman in far too long. And there is a dizziness, a seasickness, and you know what? If a man were to dress up as a woman, these sailors at this point would not even know the difference, because of this seasickness sensation. It has been so long since they have been with a woman. Okay? If it was a genetic possibility for the species of man to survive without the species of woman, then the Darwinian called survival of species is shattered, therefore we do not exist. Okay? Okay, naturally the recessive fluid gate rate is activated on this ice cold battlefield. And there is no such thing as woman other than in mirage format. It is the queer bird at the end of the pecking order lineup. That is the mirage. Okay?